Company didn't hire me for the next position and now want me to train up the person they did. I've been working here 5 years. Done all the relevant tasks. Development courses. Qualifications and training. Finally a senior position became available, so I applied. The candidates were me and someone external. They gave it to the external candidate. And now to add insult to injury, they want me to train them up. Don't hire me for the role but now want me to train someone senior than me getting paid more than me? I'm quitting. My response would be, if I'm not qualified for the job, I'm certainly not qualified to train anyone for it. As the company does not consider me qualified enough for the position, I believe I am neither qualified to train someone for it and would prefer not to train someone incorrectly. Just stick to that and look for a new job if possible. This happened to my wife. She was handpicked and groomed to replace her manager, who was accepting a promotion at a different site. That manager had to leave sooner than expected and the remaining management decided my wife was too valuable in her current role. The job title was an administrative position, but the responsibilities she had accumulated were that of a certified professional, which she was, because she was capable of doing both her job and the management role, but wasn't a salaried employee. Their metrics looked better. They couldn't backfill her position at her pay rate. They asked her to remain in her current role and train the outside hire they brought in as a salaried employee at double her pay rate. She reached out to a former boss, who offered her a job the same day. The former manager had to return from her promotion and decided to leave the company entirely shortly after. It's been a rolling dumpster fire with a revolving door for that position for the last 5 years. Act confused. You did not hire me for that role, so you say, without words, I am not good enough. So how can I, considering I am not good enough, train someone? I am sorry, but I cannot, as then I be a training someone incorrectly. The fact that they don't see the lack of logic in it. Sorry for that, mate. I've seen it happen too many times. It's just screwed. Ask for a raise equal to the pay of the new hire because training for this role is outside your job description but well within your skill set and you deserve to be compensated for it. Keep your old job at lesser responsibilities but bank your new income. Then do the bare minimum. Wait for them to fire you and collect unemployment. I assume you didn't promote me because you've recognized how good I am in my current role. My paycheck needs to reflect that in order for you to retain me in this position. Plan to just cause as many problems as I can without crossing the line into being fired, and no longer doing anything besides the bare minimum. Absolutely not. I worked a job in which I worked in 2 departments of the company and devoted half of each work day to said departments. Was very stressful and hard to manage, and I was very young, still am. I was making a lot less than everyone I worked with and was technically part-time even though I worked full-time hours. So I quit after a year because there was never any affirmation about becoming full-time. The person they hired after me is making $6 more an hour than I was. Boss wanted me to train them and I told my boss respectfully, no. Now I make more than what they do. You should too. Fuck them. They didn't want to replace you doing day-to-day. You became too valuable in your current gig. The only recourse is to leave. Common practice in business because it is easier to replace one open upper-level position instead of an open lower-level position that would disrupt operations if they promoted you and they didn't have someone to backfill your spot. Which tells me upper-level positions aren't as important as they try to make it out to be. This is extremely frustrating for employees and often results in people leaving taking their knowledge with them. Whatever you do, do not train them. Period. Tell them whatever you want, but bottom line, tell them no. You will not train someone for a job you applied for and are more than qualified for. I have a feeling they are going to try to strong-arm you into training this person. Do not do it. If you train this person, you might as well stay where you are. Admit defeat and start licking boots. Emo. Why is everyone quiet quitting? I don't get it. Sorry. Training personnel wasn't in the job description I was hired for. Why would you possibly want me to train a job you felt I was a poor candidate for? First, update your resume and include the training position on it and start applying to other companies. Companies that do this are annoying. I once was a warehouse worker and knew everything to run the warehouse. It is a lot of manual work, but the computer portion for reporting and just overall doing things was a lot to learn. Well, my manager got fired and I was up for the job. Except the facility manager decided to give it to someone, aka his buddy. This dude knew nothing at all about what we did and how our systems worked. He was horrible on the computer and learning was terrible for him. It was just not his thing. So I was supposed to train him, but he just had me do everything for him instead. Well, I took vacation for a week and the place fell apart. After that I finally got the position and he was moved back to the position he had. I worked in a really toxic environment one time. After ever the person above my position left, management gave me a rah-rah speech Friday morning about what a valuable asset I was. I went into a Friday evening and weekend thinking I was going to be promoted to the position above mine. When I came in Monday morning, I met the person who actually got the position. I had to spend the next 3 weeks training that person. I felt so foolish. Dude, this is why 2 managers and a team lead just put in their notices. Rather than promote the team lead who was groomed for the OM slot and was literally doing the job at a pay rate 4 steps down, they hired someone external who had zero idea what they were doing and put those managers and that team lead in a group to train the idiot, starting with, "This is a cash register," all the way to an OM. Shocked Pikachu faces all around when they all refused. Pointed out the idiot is basically untrainable to start with, and especially in the time frame they expected, and put in their notices. The OM is less qualified than I am and I've only been there a few months. They literally deleted the POS software from the main register because it was taking up too much space and slowing it down. So now we have a giant paperweight where our busiest station is. No timeline on when it will be replaced because we are still waiting on the operations budget to be approved, and an idiot telling everyone wrong info with too much weight to not know the right info. All these suggestions of what to do, say to your boss are nice, but they've already made their choice. And you're not going to come out of this any better than you already have it. Places know what this does to morale and they don't care because they consider you not worth the investment moving forward. The second that you've gotten that new person even remotely up to speed, you can expect them to start looking for ways to fire you. Start looking for another job right now. Lie on your resume and say you've been doing that supervisor position for X amount of time. If you have the skill set to do the job, you can BS your way through an interview. Do not quit. Simply express to them that since you are not qualified for the position, you can't possibly train someone on it. Then let them fire you with a severance. No.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.